So, try to picture yourself in this situation right here, people. Imagine you're a fan of a particular band from Germany. Now imagine that that band that you like hasn't released any new material in over 10 years. Then you hear that they're making some new material and they're bringing out a teaser for said music video, bring out the music video and the date for the album to come out. Only to have everyone not being excited but absolutely livid.
Nein, 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 nein! I am in a world of shit.
Guten Tag, everybody. This is Atticus the Death Mailer, and finally the long wait is over. Rammstein is back in business. They're back in town. They've brought out a new single, new music video, and a new album coming up in May. Woo! The long wait is finally done with. Now you would really think that everyone would be so excited and so elated that one of the greatest metal bands of Germany is back with a new album, new music video, new single out there. You'd think that everyone would be so elated over this. Nope! Turns out that their new music video, Deutschland, is very anti-Semitic and very not safe for work and very problematic. Yeah, because, I mean, given the fact that Rammstein has been a band of controversy, from what I do know that Rammstein had a little bit of flame thrown at them for Columbine, because from what I've known is that Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold may have been fans of Rammstein. I might have to look into it. Yeah, like they've been a band cheered in a lot of controversy, not like VAR controversy, but they've released a lot of very crazy ass music videos. I mean, the fact that people are getting so worked up over Deutschland, saying that it's, not safe for work. I mean, come the fuck on. Haven't these people seen Mann gegen Mann, where all the members except for Till Lindemann were naked, and it showed a bunch of footage of just huge muscular chads in a dog pile, and also their music video Pussy off of their last release, Lieb, ich, würden, eine, and where a bunch of the members were banging women. It was featured on a porno site. But this music video Deutschland is so offensive because, like, the controversy started over a fucking teaser of the music video in which, a lot of people were freaking out, saying that this was very inappropriate and it was very offensive towards, Jewish communities, saying this was taking a direct offense over Holocaust victims. Yeah, because we had movies like this showing the absolute horrific atrocities of the Holocaust, and they're fine, but God fucking forbid when you bring out a teaser for a music video, it's bad. It's so bad. It is so bad. There are a bunch of conservatives that need an education. Now, my personal thoughts onto the song Deutschland and the music video for Deutschland, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved hearing that Rammstein was back with new material, coming out with a new album next month. And Deutschland, when I saw the music video, I really was not even offended in the slightest bit whatsoever. It was a really interesting and amazing music video, which actually showed, parts of the complicated, dark, as well as interesting history of Germany, where, Rammstein is from. I mean, like, why wouldn't you have, like, a song celebrating your country and all that other stuff? But no, it's all bad. It is so bad having personal national pride over to your own country. As I was really enjoying myself, I came up with this article from Metal Hammer magazine in which a professor from Oxford University broke it down bit by bit by bit. So onto this video, I am going to be reading this article, putting in my other 2 cents onto this, filling in on what this guy has said into this article, and really just break it all down bit by bit by bit. So this is what this video is all about. So grab your seats, take in some notes, because Professor Death Metaler is back in session. The video opens in AD 16 on the barbarian side of the Limes, the border of the Roman Empire. Roman soldiers creep through the woods in the aftermath of the Battle of Teutoburg Forest. The Romans were ambushed by an alliance of Germanic tribes, led by the chieftain called Arminius, the original Hermann the German. 3 legionary standards were captured, a loss symbolic and moral as well as psychological, and decades were spent trying to recover them. Rome never again attempted to take the lands east of the River Rhine known as Germania. Germania refers not just a place somewhere partly defined by where it isn't, Rome, as well as where it is, but also to a national figurehead traditionally representing the Germanic people. Germania is a strong woman, usually armor-clad and battle-ready. Various symbols appear with her among a breastplate with an eagle, a black, red, and gold flag, and a crown. Look out for these in the video. They come up again and again, and the colors of the contemporary flag are there in every scene. We get our first glimpse of Germania here, played by Ruby Comey, who stands holding Till Lindeman's severed head. Next, astronauts appear carrying a metal and glass box shaped like a coffin. In the background, we see a U-boat, a German submarine used in the World Wars I and II. Then we move to a scene set at a boxing match, which takes us to Weimar, Germany, 1918 through 1933, a period known for its political instability but also greater cultural liberalism. Here, Germania appears in the cabaret costume of a flapper girl, and the boxers fight with knuckle dusters as a crowd cheers them on. Now, a little bit I have to say onto this part now. I mean, Ruby Comey, she was there basically for the band's choice, but I mean, like, this is just a little bit of nitpicking here, but it would have been a little bit much more appropriate for me to have a ethnically German girl play as Germania, but I mean, it's their choice here and there. But then again, I mean, Germany has had African colonies, most notably in the country of Namibia. So I can understand in some regards, I mean, Germany attempts to have some colonies in Africa, so, and not to mention you have, you know, good African communities around in Germany and stuff, despite all the African migrants pouring into Germany by the millions and shit like that. And for greater cultural liberalism into the Weimar Republic, I'm sorry, but you had movements like the Spartacus League, which was the communist movement in Germany, as well as right-wing paramilitary groups like the Freikorps, which, you know, attempted to try to get the Weimar Republic back onto the glory days of the German Empire. And, you know, a lot of those members of the Freikorps actually were part of the Third Reich, and it really wasn't a time of greater cultural liberalism, in my opinion. It was a lot of great instability for Germany. You have to keep in mind, I mean, like, this was right after Germany lost World War I and had to sign the Treaty of Versailles, which was, you know, a humiliating defeat for the German people. Just a lot of political instability where you had the Spartacus League, the Freikorps, all this other stuff, and it was just, you know, the recipe for a particular Charlie Chaplin stash boy to grab the reins of this economic instability and bring Germany up to the Third Reich. We see the former East Germany, or Democratic Republic of Germany, with complete busts of Marx and Lenin, the national emblem of East Germany, and a look-alike of the long-serving insular and repressive GDR leader, Erich Honecker. There is another astronaut, or rather a cosmonaut, Sigmund Jähn, the first German in space who flew with the USSR space program, and who's also a character in the 2003 film Goodbye Lenin. Medieval monks feast grossly on the supine Germania, tearing sauerkraut and sausage from Ruby Comey's body. Prison inmates are beaten by guards dressed in police and military uniforms from different historical periods. And I love this right here because even though people are getting absolutely worked up over the imagery of the Third Reich, you also get, you know, imagery of the German Democratic Republic, which was basically the start point of the Cold War, when the GDR built the Berlin Wall to keep its workforce in East Germany. But yeah, basically, in order for the German Democratic Republic to survive in these times, they had to basically keep their workforce by building a wall so they wouldn't escape out of it. So, I mean, the Berlin Wall was a huge standpoint onto the Cold War, along with the Cuban Missile Crisis and the Korean and Vietnam Wars and all this other stuff that went on during the latter points of the 20th century. But yeah, it was mostly the GDR that faced, a huge hardship, mostly for it to survive, as well as, Germany being split by a huge fucking wall and stuff like that. And so I love seeing that, Rammstein decided to bring in forth the Third Reich as well as the German Democratic Republic, a communist country. The most obviously shocking scene references the Holocaust and the Nazi period, or Third Reich. 4 members of the band in the striped uniforms of camp inmates wait at the gallows about to be hanged. They wear the cloth emblems used to identify their crimes, a pink triangle for homosexual prisoners, a yellow star for the Jewish prisoners, and a red and yellow star for Jewish political prisoners. The sequence teased in an earlier promo video has already caused controversy. Have Rammstein have the right to do this? Do they trivialize the suffering of Holocaust victims? How can they justify using Holocaust imagery to promote their new video? These are important questions that are part of a much bigger debate about the ethics of using the Holocaust in art and media. And what do I have to say about all this? Let them fucking do it. I mean, later on, you see members shooting the other members, including Ruby, a black Nazi, being shot in the face by Car 98Ks and shit like that. I mean, if Steven Spielberg and Roman Polanski can make movies like Schindler's List and The Pianist, even though I have a lot of criticisms towards Roman Polanski, they have the right to do so. And it really dawns onto how we can joke about Nazism and the shit like that.
I can explain everything. Actually, no, I can't.
Because, I mean, with what happened with Count Dankula, which he made a joke just to piss off his girlfriend, making the most cutest thing in the world become the ugliest thing in the world, aka a Nazi, and yet his livelihood was almost ruined at this point. And it really sucks because now we're at this point in time and where the regressive left have made things absolutely ultra sensitive, with the whole media bashing of Donald Trump saying that he's literally Hitler. Automatically you have all these ultra left-wing groups that are basically saying you can't do this, you can't do that, that's offensive, that's offensive. And personally for me, I think Rammstein have the rights to show this kind of stuff because it shows, yes, it really shows a dark portion of Germany's history, not just Germany, but throughout all of Europe during this time in which the Third Reich swallowed almost all of Germany whole. But they have the rights to do so. If they're making a music video, a song about their country, then let them just add that shit. Really, let them add this shit because it shows the horrific moments of Germany's history, which was ran by an Austrian that failed as an art student and shit. In the prison, hundreds of banknotes fall from above, suggesting the devastating hyperinflation Germany suffered in the 1920s. Nazis burned books, intercut with religious fanatics burning witches. We recognize members of the Red Army faction known as the Baader Meinhof Group, a militant organization active in the 1970s in West Germany. And in a blink or you missed it exchange, we are reminded of the much criticized relation between the churches and the state during the Third Reich. Each scene captures in a moment of the icons of an era, and the video cuts between them more and more frenetically as it goes on. Events bleed into each other, linked by the presence of the band members and the red laser beam that appears throughout the video, a rote Faden, red thread or central theme, connected to each event. Germany engages with its history in a very particular way. Try to imagine the video about Britain, with Britannia playing by Ruby Comey. What would the equivalent events be? Quite a few of the tubula might be similar. Romans, crusaders, monks, 18th century soldiers, collarless shirts, and bare-knuckle boxing, but would have had the same impact? And that's a pretty good point at the very end with this professor that stated onto this article. And I love most of the symbolism onto this video. Again, with, the money being thrown out, which symbolized the hyperinflation, which caused an economic crash, which was, I mean, Germany had it way worse during the Great Depression than, the Americas. But let's be frank here, I think, the Americans in the Midwest suffered a lot more with the Dust Bowl, but, I mean, the people in Germany during those hyperinflation moments, they went through some shit, but I will give Hitler some credit. He did bring Germany out of that economic instability back then. That's probably the only good thing that he's ever done, but... I don't want to go any further, but I mean, I think you know what I'm trying to say right here. Am I right, guys? I do love the symbolism onto this music video, and it really stays true if they made a video about Great Britain, Britannia in this sort of sense. There's no affection and perhaps not much hope. Its pessimistic tone seems to be quite an off-brand message for post-1989 Germany, which wants to acknowledge its past critically, while also looking to its future as a state at the heart of Europe. And actually, while we get a lot of medieval and 20th century history, the video's tour through the past seems to stop in the late 1980s, before the fall of the Berlin Wall and reunification of East and West Germany. Instead, we jump into the future where the space-suited band takes Germania into the unknown, traveling in that coffin-shaped glass box. There is an echo of the video for Son, my favorite song off of Rammstein. Where Snow White is trapped in a glass coffin. In fact, a piano version of Son plays over the end credits for Deutschland. This is a useful link for understanding something of what Rammstein is doing here. In Son, where the band's characters free themselves of Snow White, naturally they've been her sex slaves, only to realize that they have made a mistake and long for her return. The overwhelming feeling of Deutschland seems to be that when it comes to Germania or Germany, you can't love her and you can't live without her. And that is the conclusions onto this whole debacle of the music video of Deutschland. Now, personally for me, as I will state onto this video right here, like, the music video for Deutschland was tame. I love the song Deutschland, but it also really just proves my point on how the regressive left, the social justice warriors, have basically the establishment, they are grabbing it by the pussy. Because just look at it. I mean, when you have, music videos like Deutschland being seen as problematic, and where you have, people like Count Dankula being attacked and having his entire livelihood being ruined over a fucking joke just to piss off his girlfriend, it really just shows on how the left, the ultra left, has really taken the establishment and every institution by the balls at this point. And Rammstein is no stranger, and they would attack Rammstein. They would attack Rammstein with no effort whatsoever, without even doing any research on Rammstein. I mean, given the fact that I think that Rammstein is pretty left as it gets with, their expression of art, with their music, but it's just like, everyone attacks Rammstein, both the left and the right, over the silliest shit, and this is just a prime example, but it really just shows, and it really proves my point, that the ultra left really has taken every portion of institutions into the establishment and are trying to put everyone into their own whim, into their own mindset right there. So, what did you guys love about Deutschland? Did you like it, or did you dislike the song? Leave your thoughts and opinions on Deutschland down below. Now, since it is April Fool's, I am not going to be doing my usual outro like, I'm Atticus, the death metaler. Hope you like this video, subscribe to my channel. But with the topic that I have shown so far onto this video, I'm going to be closing it down by speaking it in German. Since Rammstein's 99.9% of their lyrics is in German, why not just go with the flow and try to do my outro in German horribly with my broken German. I am not that good with my German, so please bear with me, people. I will be reading it off onto you guys while doing my outro, so all to my German viewers watching this, grab some popcorn and laugh at my broken German. But, it's what I do. But Here we go. Ich bin Atticus der Death Metaler. Hoffe, dir gefällt dieses Video. Abonnieren Sie meinen Kanal. Links finden Sie in der Bereichsbank unten. Behalte ihr euch meldet. Ich wünsche einen schönen Tag. Prost!